Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome back to my channel. And sorry if I was gone for a little minute. You know, I was dealing with school stuff, and I'm gonna be even busier next week. So yeah. But hey, once spring break comes, expect the video at least 4 times that week. At least. I deserve to give y'all that. Besides, I know I've been very inconsistent, but I'm gonna try to fix that. And so yeah, this is gonna be part 2 to what if Issei was Sephiroth. It's reincarnation. So yeah, you know, do what you need to do, you know, sit back, relax, get some popcorn, do what you need to do. Just chill out. We is in an all vibe zone here, so yeah, let me stop rambling on and get into the video. So we cut back to Issei Konoko. Did you enjoy my performance? You know, Issei just kind of doing like a whole bow to kind of hide his face, and who in return thought they were well hidden, getting no response. And Issei, he's like, oh come on, I know you out there, seriously, just come out. It's not like I'm gonna do anything to you. He kind of paused on that moment. He like, well, I don't know about that yet, so please just come out. I really don't like stalkers. So yeah, and I am talking to you, Konoko, as well as looking at you. Issei still not getting a response. Finally said, since you won't come to me, I'll be nice, I'll come to you instead. As he started walking on towards their location. I can't speak. So now Rias Gremory is somewhat confused with the whole ordeal. Seemed to be very confusing, because originally when Konoko reported that Issei had been approached by someone, she decided to take Akeno along with her, as well as Konoko, to observe. And first at it had seemed normal enough until the girl named Yuma revealed herself to be a fallen angel. And what was confusing was that Issei, when he was asked to die, he just simply replied, but saying no, just no. Then was showing that he can just run away from her. Then just then Reiner was able to catch up with him, and you know, Issei attacked her, turned the tables on her, and just incapacitating her. I use incapacitating shortly because, you know, he killed her. So what truly confused Rias though was the single black wing Issei had sprouted out from his back when he was asked what he was. And from there, that conversation, it seemed he was ignorant of what he was, and had only learned about fallen angels from Reiner when she told him. And now he was walking towards her, saying that he knew that she was, as well as her peer Taraj, had been watching him. So finally deciding to go out and confront him, Rias walked into the open. Akeno and Konoko followed suit quickly after her. She's like, well, Issei, it seems you caught me, she said with a smile. And you know, in response, you know, Issei, you know, he kind of bit upset. You know? He's like, well, are you, or should I say, were you with that girl Reiner? And you know, it was pretty much evident people acting friendly towards him did not make him feel relaxed, or more in this situation than others. So really, she's like, no, she is no part of, she's a part of another faction, you know. Wait, another faction? Don't tell me. I don't know what to know. I mean, I don't want to know. All I want to know is why are you following me? He answered kind of irritably because, he was kind of pissed off and emotionally tired after what happened today. Rias, she's like, well, it's mainly because you were of interest to us, seeing how you scored higher than the student council president in the entrance exam and all. You're not telling me something. Issei responded with a, dangerous look as his eyes now enter into a cat-like shape. Rias knew that Issei's self-control was slipping. Although he didn't show it, he was angry and hurt, most probably in pain as well. So antagonizing him now with just that he was in a dangerous mood wasn't really the best idea, not really a smart one. So Riz is like, well, when you entered on your first day, Konako told me that you had an unfamiliar presence about you. So I had her observe you and then approach you to gauge if you were a threat or not. Oh, I take it then that Konako didn't approach me to get to know me in the interest of becoming friends. More like was your behest. So I take it that as well that you are her boss of some sorts, and that none of you, Konako, or other y'all over there are even human either. Issei, just trying to think these out. And Rick's like, well, yes. And Issei, he kind of frowned at this. He's like, on how many accounts then was I right? On all of them. Rias immediately regretted saying that as the look of hurt in Issei's eyes began to deepen, and the anger behind them began to burn even hotter. So yeah, so dangerously bright, in fact. And he's like, well then, can you Konako? Issei said, turning to her, please feel free to leave me alone. I really dislike people who try to use me or don't tell me the whole truth. And Konako on her part just nodded, but for some reason, on inside, she felt like she was just a pint of guilt, but also a pint of pain as well. That laced her mind at what Issei had just said to her and what it meant. And she's like, okay, sheesh. So, alright. On my next and final question, what are you three? Issei asked. To this, Rias answered, we are devils. She stated it simply, seeing no reason to lie. Well, no good enough reason that Issei would understand in his state of mind, at least. Devils, huh? Issei said with a raised eyebrow, getting a nod from Rias. Well, if you don't mind, I am going to try to get back home. Saying this, his single black wing disintegrated, causing him to grimace and kind of leaving a hole in the back of his shirt. And Issei began to walk away. And Rias, still trying to call out to him. She's like, Issei, wait. And now getting very pissed off as he turned around and looked at her. What is it? Can't you see I'm tired? How long did you know? She asked. How long did I know what? Issei responded, very irritated because he needed to get home to his apartment soon, otherwise the side effect of sprouting his wing and getting rid of it so quickly after sprouting it will kick in. So that was something he only experienced once. Needless to say, being away from people when it happened is a pretty wise choice. So yeah, he's trying to get out of there. How long did you know we were watching you? Rias asked. Well, since the first day Konako started following me home after school a few weeks ago. Issei answered before he turned around and just left, hurrying into the direction of his apartment. Well, I have to admit, this has brought up more questions than answers. Ria said, I wonder if I should tell Sona about this. She thought to herself before turning and looking at Konako as all of them just walk off. So we cut to Issei, and Issei was about to make it back to his apartment just before the side effects hit him. He had just been able to lock his door when just a wave of pain just washed over him, causing him to collapse as he began to legit cough up blood and bleed a strange thick black fluid from his body. Damn it, this hurts. Issei thought through him clenching his teeth as his vision began to get all blurry and shit. Maybe it would have been easier if I just had let Rainer just kill me, he thought before he just kind of just lost consciousness due to the amount of pain he was in. So we're gonna cut to Sona and Rias. So Sona was just sitting there in front of Rias, playing their very classy game of chess, when she casually asked, so I guess you really know why Issei's not at school right now. And Rias, she's like, unfortunately so. Rias replied with a smile still, she's trying to uplift the whole mood. And, well, are you going to tell me what happened? Sona asked, knowing that now was not the correct time for them to play in this sort of game, at least. I mean, to clarify, it's a duel with words. Playing chess is fine, inappropriate, for this moment at least. So, well, it is just that what happened to Issei last night kind of throws in more questions than answers. Answers that he didn't have. Rias replied, thoughtfully coming to her face, and what do you mean, Rias? Sona asked, kind of intrigued by this some bit of information, as she's like, well, it just last night he was asked out by a girl on a date that night, and it turns out that girl so happened to be a fallen angel and tried to kill him. Ria said, she kind of frowned because she's like, well, since you said tried, so does that mean she failed? As getting a nod in response. Sona's like, did you do anything to save him from this fallen angel? Trying to ask her, questioning her. As Rias kind of shook her head, no, he took care of it all by himself, killing her in the process. And Sona was surprised by this and letting it show. What do you mean, she asked? So Rias told her what transpired yesterday evening. In the end, I said, it throws up more questions than it gives answers, though I seriously doubt it gives us any information at all than the fact that until last night he was ignorant of beings like us existing. Okay. Soon agreed. Never heard of an angel with only one wing before. Given the fact that he doesn't know that fallen angels were real until last night itself, I don't think he's an angel. Riz replied with a side evidence because she was very confused. So, do you think we should continue to watch him? Sona asked. I'm afraid not, Riz replied. He seemed to know that Konako has been following him around, and when I told him that I was the one who told her to get to know him, Riz sighed. I think he might have taken it a bit hard. From what you told me, he seems to only know you as just that chick in the clubhouse. And not that I think Issei was hurt because she only tried to get to know him because I asked her to. And from his reaction, I believe that he thought that she wanted to be friends with him, just genuinely, instead of her telling me. And Ria's answer is, so this is going to make monitoring him even more difficult because he's not going to let anyone that we send and get close to him if he suspects that you sent them. You know, someone stated while taking a sip from her tea. And on another note, do you know why he's been calling in sick today? When the school called him up, when he was not in class, according to the teachers, he sounded like in a very bad condition. And Ria, she's like, I don't know. Issei seemed perfectly, well, physically fine, but somewhat disoriented mentally, maybe from last night. Maybe he isn't coping with what happened well. Well, mental or physical, I suggest that we go and pay him a visit today or tomorrow, just to check up on how he's doing, Sona said, as you know, putting down her tea. I guess that would be a good idea. Rear side, though, I believe the part where he lets us in is going to be difficult. So, after school, we're going to pay Issei a visit then, Sona said. I guess that seeing how Issei is doing is a good choice. Riz agreed. Though I believe it would be easier for us to approach him without the members of our respective pt2. Why do you say something like that? Sona asked. I have a feeling that he may be in a vulnerable state of mind, and if we come in by force, Issei may feel threatened by us. They may lash out, most probably due to misinterpretation. You know, Riz explaining it to him, and Sona's like, oh, I see. But I think it'll be best to keep them close by just in case something unexpected happens. And Riz, you know, she smiled. She's like, that is one thing I can wholeheartedly agree on. Issei has a habit of doing the unexpected. And you know, we gonna cut to Issei, right? Issei, you know, he's sighing as he hearing the doorbell go off in this apartment, as he just been able to clean up the whole mess that he had bled out. But unfortunately, some of the smell kind of remained. So Issei didn't know what the black fluid was that he bled out was, but he could liken its smell to do with a combination of something sweet but also decaying at the same time. So at least what he summarized, weakly he kind of got up, made his way towards the door, and having to lean against the wall for support in a few places. So finally getting to the door, opening it, he was greeted with Rias from yesterday and Sona. You know, he's thinking to himself, I think this is the student council president. No, don't tell me she's a devil as well, and that she's going to lecture me about not attending the school today. You know, Issei, you know, he thinking to himself mentally as he just groaned to himself. Hello, Miss Student Council President Rias. What can I do for you? He asked. Well, I can see why you didn't go to class today. You look like you've been hit by a bus, multiples, in fact. You know, Sona, you know, stated, taking in Issei's appearance. In truth, it was, putting it politely, Issei looked like he's been ran over by several trucks, at least several times, and looked like as if he's gonna just drop dead at any moment. Thanks, yes, Issei said as he really hadn't bothered to look in the mirror, as he would have looked terrible. So, like I said, well, what can I do for you? What exactly is this about? So, well, you see, today Rias informed me of what happened last night. Sona explained. So what of it? You know, what about it? Issei said, as if it didn't matter. As you know, Sona, she kind of got a little frown and a little bit from his reaction, but not letting it affect her any further than that. Well, you see, I was told that you had a little run-in with a fallen angel last night. And before she could continue, she was cut off by Issei. So I can make the assumption that you're a devil too, he asked. Well, yes, naturally, but that's getting on topic. I was informed that you not only defeated her, but killed her. Now, while this isn't a problem, I was told that you didn't suffer any physical injuries last night. Then with you not coming to school today, I was concerned that you may be suffering mentally from what happened. It's not every day that you kill someone, or is it every day that the first girl who asks you out on a date tries to kill you on the very first date for a reason you didn't know? You know, Sona explained. That's all good and all, but what do you really want? And also, please don't lie to me. I really hate liars. Issei said. It was clearly evident to him that she was not telling him the whole truth or telling him everything. Well, yes, since you were targeted by fallen angels in our territory, it makes it our responsibility to make sure that you're safe, so please try not to be too suspicious of us. You know, Sona. Issei kind of get a little pissed off at that. Kind of got a little, you know, because, you know, he's still a combination of tired, still in pain, bleeding, and stuff. So he's in a very pissed off mood right now. As you know, he's like, please don't give me that. While I don't know about you, Miss Student Council President, but I'm pretty sure that Rias over there would be happy to watch, even if I wasn't able to handle myself in that situation. You know, Issei kind of very pissed off right now. As you know, Sona's like, well, don't be like that. I'm sure even if Rias had let you die, she would have definitely brought you back, Sona said. Well, I'm pretty sure that if he believes that Rias would have let him die, this is kind of hard to believe, she thought to herself. And it'd be kind of rude, kind of crazy. So, and seriously, is that the best you can come up with bringing people back to life? You know, Issei's still kind of pissed off, you know, because, you know, he's in a bad mood right now. He going off. So, well said, if it was possible and I believed you, what would have been the catch to something like that? It's never free. Well, you would have used some evil pieces to revive you so that you can be a devil and serve under Rias as part of her pt2, Sona explained. As Issei raised his eyebrows, he's like, okay, so bringing me back equals eternal servitude or something. As Sona and Rias had a little bit of, they were kind of offended by that statement, but they didn't let it show, or trying their best to not to, at least. Well, something like that, though it isn't internal, Rias corrected. Well, as you can see, I'm fine, so just leave me alone, Issei said, about to close the door when Sona and Rias noticed something about his appearance. Apparently about his hair in general, though. What is with your hair? Why is it silver? Sona asked. Issei literally glaring at her, you know, his glare. Just so much killing intent behind it, it kind of shocked her a little bit, or kind of made her kind of scared a little bit. It's none of your business. As he was about to slam the door, but Sona put her foot in front of it, preventing it. But little did she know that her trying to stop it with her foot kind of crushed her foot a little bit. But she didn't notice it at the moment. So While it is none of our business, something is happening to you, and as your friend, we are concerned. As Issei, he face kind of turned. He got a little pissed off again. He's like, "I'm fine. Just leave me alone." She's like, "I'm afraid we can't do that. I have a feeling that that is something important, or at least that it related to something important to do with you, and also I firmly believe that you're not alright despite your claims to the contrary or otherwise." Sona stated, sternly, getting a little bit of a nod from Rias, as Issei trying to calm himself out, trying to not push this argument any further. "Fine, then come in and make yourself at home," he said, opening the door as the proceeding to walk into his apartment and collapse on his couch. So as Sona and Rias entered the main room of his apartment, they were greeted by a strange smell. He said, "Do you know what that smell is?" Rias asked, trying not to feel nauseated by it. "Truth be told, I know what it comes from and where the substance that makes the odor comes from, but I don't really know what that substance is," Issei answered, lying down on the couch. "Well, back to the question at hand. Why is your hair silver?" Sona asked. Issei shrugged. "That's a long story. I don't know if you'll understand it. Hell, I don't even understand it." Sona and Rias ignored Issei's use of the word hell, because they know he wasn't trying to insult him using it. So they're like, "Well, can you at least tell us, Issei?" Rias asked, kind of bit concerned, a little bit of concern on her face. "Well, fine. It all kind of started when I was about 10 years old, when I was involved in an accident," Issei said. "What sort of accident was that then?" Sona asked, kind of intrigued. "A traffic accident," Issei responded. "Do you want me to tell you, or are you going to interrupt me?" Sorry. I'll wait till after you're done." "Fine. As I said, I was in a traffic accident about 6 years ago. Luckily or so, I thought. Then I was able to escape with only a few minor cuts. A few of my friends on that bus, well, they didn't make it. But you see, the thing about these cuts was that not normal for me at any rate." As Issei, he took a deep breath, remembering what had happened to his friends in the accident was more painful than what happened to him. So what was not normal was that these cuts refused to heal. The blood just did not clot. Now I was already in the hospital unconscious when that happened, so I did not, until later, after they had fixed me up. But I woke up, the doctor and my parents were having a discussion to me. It was let's just say, disturbing. How was it disturbing? You want to ask, curiosity getting the better of her. And Issei, he kind of gave her a blank look as he sat up upright on the couch. Disturbing as in the fact that the blood tests they had done on my cells are slowly degrading, killing themselves, so to speak. Apparently at this rate, they are going, given the fact that might increase over time, and I would most likely die before I reach the age of 20. Issei responded, kind of getting shocked looks from both Rias and Sona. Dang, that is disturbing. No, I must amend that statement. For an 8-year-old to hear about themselves, it must be terrifying. What did the doctor think telling you this? Sona asked, kind of sad, As Issei laughed as it was hollow sort of sound, but he's like, well, no, he didn't tell me. He told my parents. In fact, he told my parents not to tell me until I could understand, or preferably not to tell me at all. And they all thought I was still asleep. What's more was my mom asked if anything could be done. The doctor said that he had never seen anything like this before in all his years. Take it from me, the guy who looks like his 4th century, and that currently was no means to work with. He explained, kind of laughing a little insanely, as both Sona and Rias could feel that for Issei, given his situation, it's kind of downright tragic and sad. So, does it have anything to do with why your hair is silver? And does it have anything to do with you sprouting a single wing? Sona asked, trying not to let the fact that she was horrified to show. Issei kind of shrugged. Who knows? Most probably it was the fact that my cells are killing me and why my hair is turning gray. As for the other thing, I don't know. I was able to sprout it after the incident occurred, so maybe it's a side effect. I don't know. As Rhea, she says, "Oh, I heard of a sacred gear that can heal people, even their kind." Rhea stated. Again with this sacred gear shit. Okay, alright. What are you getting at? Issei asked. Well, it could heal you. Don't you want that? Rhea asked. No, not really. If I did get healed, I would have instantly healed myself. And I believe that the person you possess this sacred gear, you say, may have better things to do, Issei said. So you don't want to heal yourself? Sona asked, confused. No, not really. This is what I am. I can't change my own DNA, even if I wanted to. So I think it'll be for the best if I don't try to do anything rash, Issei said. Well, I think that it is about it. I would ask you if you would join either our pt2 Ragex, seeing that you would definitely be an asset, but I think you would decline, Sona asked. I'd rather, you're right, you'd be right. I'd rather not lose what little humanity I have left, if I have any at all, Issei said. None taken, none taken. Sona replied, getting up from her chair as she was sitting on. Also, when you think about it, you will, she's like, so when you think you'll be coming back to school? Rhea says. As Issei, he kind of got a little pissed off again. He's like, what is it to you? Before answering, most likely tomorrow. Or the day after. Whenever my body decides it wants to stop aching and I'm able to get some sleep, he answered. Thank you, Issei. Oh, another thing. We would like to ask what happened to you, the price you paid for your powers, Rhea asked, quite curious. As Issei, he just thinks himself like, this is kind of a pain. Alright, sure, whatever. As, Rhea, she kind of smiling, and both her and Sona kind of leave out. And as they leave, well, since we have that settled, I guess I'll see you in Cole Academy, Sona said as she's getting ready to walk out. Well, send someone to check up on you in class to see how you're doing. She finished before her and Rhea exit Issei's apartment, closing the door. After they left, Issei just thought to himself, what a pain in the neck. Can't they just leave me alone? As then a voice appeared in Issei's head again. Why do you tremor in frustration that isn't really there? Can it, you psychopath? I don't have time to waste with you today. Issei said out loud because it looks like he's just shouting at himself right now. As he made his way to his bed as an attempt to get some sleep to relieve himself. You know, it's true no matter how much you deny it, a voice countered. Issei on his part did not respond, rather laying down on his bed he had slept. He just let sleep overcome him, just like a wave. Well then, what do you think of Issei, Sona? Ria says. I believe he isn't a threat yet. There is always the possibility of him becoming one. So we should try our best to get him on our side. To getting him to join either our peer Ragex would be difficult. Not that, the other thing. Ria says. Oh, well, I can see why you think he's a pretty okay person. Sona nodded in agreement. I think it'll be for the best if we try to get closer to him despite his informalities, but he seems like a pretty chill person. I agree, Ria said. Though I believe we should try to win his trust first, given that the fact that he seems to be a little distrusting of us. We may have to try a little harder. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to end it right there. Tell me what you think. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to my vids, you know. I'm going to try to be better at uploading. I'm trying to. But, yeah, and I'm out. Peace.